Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All In channel, host Sacred Forever. Hold on, let me see. Sorry about this, guys. I'm looking at my. I just got a warning message. Here with me. Check this out. It's telling me my page is getting blocked. Okay, I see it right there. Okay, it's just a delay. It's good. It's good. All right, we're good. Sorry about that. It's weird. StreamYard told me that my icon was being blocked. You know what's funny? I wanted to talk about the Superman trailer. I actually wanted to watch it and kind of give my review. Um, Spoiler alert, I thought it looked pretty cool. Actually, I liked it. I did watch it. But if you guys remember, I did a reaction to the first trailer that dropped, and it actually got copyrighted. So I actually took it down from my channel. And look, dude, I understand that these companies, right, especially given everything that's going on in this day and age, for their movies and stuff like that, which a lot of it is brought upon them. Um, but I never think it's a good idea, right, to make it hard for people to want to look at your content and to talk about it, even if it's bad, even if it's people that are talking badly about your movie. Number one is their opinion, right, and number two, have a little bit of confidence in your product, right. So for me personally, I watched the Superman trailer. I thought it looked pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, the thing um, that got me the most intrigued was the premise of the story, right. It looks like it's something that I could totally be into. Probably will check it out when it launches. I don't know, man. We'll see how the movie prices go. Um, your boy's on a budget, and when I talk about budget, I talk about economy on this channel. But when I'm talking about the budget, I'm talking about how I spend my money, what I spend my money on, responsibilities I have to pay for, and the type of entertainment. Because this we're going to be talking about pop culture today. For those of you guys who don't know, the POP stands for politics of pop culture. I didn't want to write that all out. But we're going to be talking about a lot of different things. Politics is going to be a crossover with politics. We kind of did that on some of the other podcasts, which people didn't like. Um, so I actually decided to do this. There are a couple other videos as well where the streams will be crossing. As we'll be talking about pop culture, but we'll also be talking about politics. As you can see, the first part of this, I said, is Trump's world. And we're going to be talking about Trump's Saudi Arabia trip, or basically his trip to the Middle East, how huge that was, the impact of it, but more from a pop culture perspective, not really on policy and stuff like that. We might touch a little bit on that. But the whole purpose of me talking about it, because I was totally blown away by the pomp and circumstance of everything that was going on. This is the Trump that I know. This is the Trump that I grew up with. Man. I know he is the president, right? He's representing the United States. They definitely talk about a little bit of trade. There's some geopolitical stuff going on. But the thing I loved the most about the Middle East trip was just the entire pomp and circumstance of it. It's the Trump that when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, this is how a lot of people knew Trump. It's the reason why he pulls a lot of influence in that part of the world, because that's how a lot of people know him as well. Not only does a lot of the people that he met, he knows them personally, but he also knew a lot of their dad. He knew their dads as well. Right, that's how far back Trump goes, man. I think Trump is like he's either 79 or he's entering his 80s. Trump is an older guy, right? And like I said, when I was a young kid growing up, it was all about champagne wishes and caviar dreams. That's the generation I grew up in. I grew up in the big 80s. And then in the 90s and then like mid 90s into the 2000s, there's a little bit of shift with everything that was going on. But um, he's probably the perfect example of what capitalism can be and can become. And when you see him in the Middle East, dude, a lot of the stuff that he represents, that's what they want there in the Middle East. It's one thing to have money; it's another thing to have power and influence. And that's definitely what those countries want, especially Saudi Arabia. If you guys haven't had a chance, do definitely go do a deep dive on it. But I think, and it's not about the politics, guys. I just think you'll find it interesting and it'll help you appreciate a little bit more of what's going on in the Middle East. Because if you just listen to the news, number one, that's the wrong route to go. Don't listen to those guys. Do just enjoy it for what it is. I wear a lot of different hats on this channel. It's hard for me to enjoy it from a different perspective. Um, you know, uh, but if you just listen to the news, it's just he sucks. Everything's bad. Yada yada yada. You never get to appreciate some of the good stuff of all this stuff. Like if you guys are like me and you're into pop culture and into entertainment, there's a lot of that to be had by watching everything that goes that was going on. Um, and that's why. I mean, that's what this is podcast is all about, and we'll do the deep dive into it. But I just want to welcome Daniel, man. Thanks for being here, brother. I appreciate it. My friend was letting me know that Ion, I guess, has some games that are coming on, dude. I'm actually looking forward to this WNBA season. See what Caitlin Clark does, dude, and see how the league handles her second year, as well as a lot of the changes, right? I think they got two expansion teams. They had a wicked draft. You have a lot of people coming into the league that could upset everything. I was surprised with some of the people that are getting cut and not making the final rosters. All the trades that are going on, dude. Again, it's one of the reasons I like the WNBA, man. It reminds me of the old school NBA from back in the day when I was growing up. So hopefully, though, there's a lot of stuff that they're able to take and actually translate it into being a better business. Because at the end of the day, it is all about the money, guys. And but welcome, Daniel. Glad to have you here, brother. Um, hold on, guys. Let me. Hopefully, Dia might show up, guys. I did send her a link. Something I wanted to do on my channel. We're going to talk a little bit of politics, and Dia likes to talk about politics as well. So I know she has a busy schedule, but this is something we discussed and something I want to bring to the channel. And hopefully she can join us, man. Because I think she'd bring some really good commentary to some of these topics we're going to talk about. But before I get into the whole Trump thing, I do want to kind of focus on Superman, the Superman trailer. Like I said, I'm not gonna do the trailer reaction if I have to, like, you know, change the volume, change the voices, not play the video because of the music that's in the background, kind of haze the stuff, so you can't make out that it's at the actual trailer. Now, dude, number one, I don't have the ability to do that. Number two, even if I had the ability, I wouldn't do it, dude. I'm just not gonna do it at all. If Warner Brothers wants to go that route, right, and make it harder for their fans or people that want to watch the trailer and talk about it, if they want to do that, dude, then that's more power to them, right? I tell you guys all the time, I'm more of a Marvel guy. I'm a lot more harder on Marvel. One thing I do like about DC is I don't have that baggage with DC. But I'll be honest with you guys. Like I said, I watched the trailer, dude. The trailer looks really good, and the story is what's going to draw me into this, man. You have a Superman that's trying to do stuff in the world, right? Trying to do the right thing, and it looks like the government's going to be coming down on him because of who he is and his powers, right? It's something that I think if you're looking at it from a modern perspective, like things that are going on in the world now, I hope they don't get too political with it, right? I hope they do focus on the story of Superman and the being of Superman and who he is, his philosophy and what he stands for. I don't want them to go into the weeds with all the politics and stuff like that. I would recommend they don't do that, right? Because that's a quick way to cause your box office to tank. Of course, DC doesn't have the political capital that Marvel has as far as the movies are concerned. Because Marvel should have died after Avengers Infinity War, but they've been able to hang around just because of the power of the brand and the fan base loyalty that they've been able to build to a fault, right? So no course correction has come because Marvel movies are horrible. But DC doesn't have that. Whether that's fair or unfair, that's a discussion for another day. But what I'm saying is, they want to hit the ground running. They got James Gunn to do it. Probably not the choice I would pick for Superman. But after watching the trailer, man, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I'm keeping an open mind. I like some of the stuff that I've seen. I like some of the effects that they had. The character actually fits the Superman. Like when I first saw the picture of the guy they cast for Superman, wasn't my favorite pick. But again, to be fair, we're coming off of Henry Cavill, probably the best looking Superman we've had since Christopher Reeve. If I'm being honest. So this guy to me just didn't look like Superman. He just does. Now that you get to see the trailers and you get to see him in action, what the story is going to be, what the character is going to be perceived as, looks like they made a great casting choice. Again, could be wrong. So I'm just pontificating at this point. But I did love the trailer. I'm intrigued by the story, and I definitely wouldn't mind checking it out. Maybe not in the theater, guys. Like I said, and it has nothing to do with the movie or whatever, dude. It's just the economics of it. Right? Where I live, dude, movies are just way too expensive. It has to be a movie that we absolutely have to see, and for me and my kids, that's few and far between. Man. I mean, I'm just paying $50 for 3 tickets on top of all the food. Yeah, that's $100. It's almost $100 night if I go to the movies nowadays. Right? And I would rather take that time and that money and spend it on other things. If I'm being perfectly honest, You guys know I'm a pro Xbox channel, right? The price of everything is going up. People are blaming the tariffs. No, you're not gonna get that on this channel, guys. Sorry. It's all about the market. It's all about, if I'm being honest, man, some of these guys are taking advantage of the situation, right? Inflation, right? This is one of the dangers of inflation. This is why elections matter when you guys do vote. Keep into mind the person that you're putting in office has a will have a big pull, especially after the last 4 years, on what the economy is going to be like. And it's just it's time to pay the piper. That's just the bottom line, right? So for me personally, I would rather take that money and put it into other things. And again, because of the cost of everything, can't buy everything, can't get everything that I want. I'm playing Towerborn right now. Maybe next payday, I'll throw some support their way. Been enjoying that game immensely. Really like their live service. Want to support them because I want them to do well, and I would like to see the game grow and expand because there's a lot of different directions they can take it. Okay? That's just me talking out loud. So, but let me know if you guys like the Superman trailer. If you guys are gonna watch the movie, if you guys have that type of money. For me, man, I just gotta take one thing at a time, man. Then I saw that the trailer for Ironheart dropped. Look, dude, I'll just be honest with you guys, man. I gave up on Marvel a long time ago for various reasons, man. And one of the main reasons is I just don't like the direction that they're taking. The characters, the story, the world building that they did, all of that's just basically gone to pot. And I just don't want to be on that roller coaster ride, man. I just got off, and that's where I am. Again, this is why, ironically, I could do a trailer reaction to Ironheart. I just don't want to. I have no interest in watching it at all. And it's the same way with Star Wars, guys. I know a lot of people have been telling me to watch Andor. I'm not gonna pay for a subscription to watch Andor just for one show. Again, dude, it's a lot of things, man. I'm done with the Star Wars. I'm done with the Disney Star Wars. I'm done with the Disney Marvel. Kevin Feige came on and talked about, kind of admitted that they made mistakes. They even threw Disney under the bus for why Marvel is having problems. All of that stuff. At the end of the day, I don't really care what he says. He had years to correct this. He never did. Disney had years to file Kathleen Kennedy. They didn't do it. They didn't do it. So until they show me, and by show me, man, I'm not just talking about one good movie. I want to see a complete turnaround, and I want to see them get back to getting phases like how they've had phase one, two, and three, but make it phase good, good, better, and great. That's what I'm looking at. I'll do. They have to do any of that before I decide to go and give them my time, not just my money, but my time. Because at the end of the day, I tell you guys, man, there's a lot of stuff that you can participate in, and some of it doesn't even cost money, right? So why would I waste my money on a company that doesn't respect the characters and the hobby that I grew up with? It's just not. I'm not gonna waste again. Not gonna waste my time. Not gonna waste my money. I'll just move on and do the things that I like to do. Like currently, I just saw this brand new anime. I've been watching it. It's actually been pretty good. Um, if you watch anime, you know a lot of the second seasons and third seasons for some of the biggest hits last year are starting to come back around. I'm starting to read manga. I'm starting to read graphic novels again. Playing my games. If I'm not playing Towerborn, I'm jumping on Avowed. Still playing that. Doom dropped. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to play that. I saw some people's videos. It's a little bit fast paced. I'll download it and try it, dude. But if it makes me dizzy, I'm just out of luck. That's just the way it is. And then again, if you have Xbox and you have Game Pass, you have nothing to worry about. Got a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. In fact, I think they got a couple free games that you can play this weekend. As always, they constantly have sales. I have to force myself not to buy stuff, um, and then I'm gonna try and kind of focus more on supporting games that are coming to the system that I really want to play, regardless of how much it costs, right? Just to try and support the industry as a whole. Right? But again, Microsoft's master plan of putting games everywhere, so that should help, right? Since a lot of more people are going to be buying games anyway. It is what it is, dude. I'm just going to march to the beat of my own drum. Told you guys I can't control what Microsoft does. I'm just going to just move forward, play my games, and at the end of the day, again, shout out to Unlimited Productions. He talks about this all the time. Just play your games, and if you just play your games, you're going to be perfectly fine, man, because nothing can touch Xbox right now when it comes to games. Which is ironic, right? For the longest time, what the narrative was when it came to Xbox having no games, yada yada yada. Right? It is what it is. So anyway, guys, let me find some of these. Let me find some of these clips. We'll share it, and we'll see how it goes. Hold on. And I guess we can do this now. In fact, let's do it. Uh, let me see. We are going to. I tried to bookmark this as best I can. But hold on one second, guys. Let me make sure this it's starting to rain where I'm at. Let me go close this window real fast. Be right back. Ah, sorry about that. Looks like it's fine. It has been raining like cats and dogs. Let me see. Get this rolling. Hopefully, you guys can see that. Let me see. Let me make sure this is playing. And look, I'll be perfectly honest with you guys, man. I've been enjoying Towerborn so much. There's been very few things that could pull me away until the president went to Saudi Arabia. This is like his first official world tour as the president of the United States. And like his first 4 years in office, he decided to go to Saudi Arabia. And actually all the Middle East, technically. But he kicked it off with Saudi Arabia. And it was amazing to watch, guys. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I enjoyed every minute of it. A lot of pomp and circumstance. That's why I watched it. And of course, you guys know I'm politically charged. So there's some policy stuff that they talked about. But the main focus of his trip was to just get money. To re-secure the relationship that he built with Prince Mohammed, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. He said Mohammed bin. Oh man, I forget his name. So they call him MBS, which I think is pretty cool. And so he wanted to go back and get do a restart. Biden was in there for 4 years. Didn't go well with the Middle East at all. In fact, the Middle East was left scratching their head when Biden took office, which was not surprising. It's one of the things that's bad about our politics, right? It's so polarizing. So when you have allies and people in the world that kind of depend on the U.S. as allies or people that just do transactions with us, and then the politics shifts like it does here in the States, it affects everybody. And it leaves a lot of people shaking their head. Right. And again, I don't want to dive too much into the politics, but I highly recommend you guys look at a lot of the reasons why the president went there. It goes beyond the business aspect, but that's what we're going to focus on. I found it, like I said, absolutely entertaining. Enjoyed that part of it. But if you guys can and take the time, you guys will understand why he went there, the history behind him going there, the specific of why he's going there, and it ties all into the tariffs. It ties all into singling out China. It ties all into paying down our national debt, even though we have a Congress here that's absolutely hopeless and are trying to destroy everything that this president is trying to do. And that's for another podcast. But absolutely enjoyed all of this, man. I thought it just reminds me, like, man, I'm not celebrating this, the Queen died, the Queen of England. But it just reminds you of a time in history where, monarchies and kingdoms and stuff like that existed. And so for me, that was probably the main thing, right? And again, it was something to behold, right? If you've never seen this part of the world, you don't know anything about Saudi Arabia, I highly suggest that you just go on YouTube, man. Type in the prince's name. Type in MEB. No, MBS. Sorry. Type in MBS, man. Go check them out, dude. Go check out Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of projects that they have going on over there. As far as their building, what they're trying to do. Of course, they're known for their oil. That was their biggest industry. But because they're concerned that eventually the oil is going to run out, what they're trying to do is they're trying to course correct and make Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and that part of the Middle East more appealing for other business ventures, right? One of the things that I've always found impressive about them is their real estate market. as well as their tourism industry. Right. A lot of the stuff that they're doing in Saudi Arabia is promoting that part of the country that a lot of people don't know about. Now you got them getting involved with tech, getting involved with medical. They're definitely going to be a part of the AI. That's why a lot of the tech guys were there. I mean, all the biggest tech giants in the world, a lot of the CEOs and stuff like that were there. A lot of people with a lot of money. If you watch the videos, man, I mean, the amount of power, influence, and wealth that was in those rooms, that it was mind-boggling, right? I would say like a third of the world, if not even more, um, wealth was in that room and that attended President Trump when he addressed the economic forum. But that's what it basically was. Elon was there, right? You might have seen him. You seen the dude that's the head of Nvidia. Who else was there? The dude for Facebook. Right? I don't think the guy from Amazon was there, or Tim Cook wasn't there. And neither was Satya Nadella. That's what I was kind of looking for. Um, but at the end of the day, this is what they want to do. I'm going to talk about Saudi Arabia and the prince, right? And this is why they're working so well, or they're working with the United States right now, and they're shifting alliances. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I gotta shut these windows. If you guys didn't know, yes, it rains in Hawaii. It rains quite a bit, and we need it to rain because it's an island, and that's the only way we can get natural water. Hold on one second. Can you guys see this? Guys, my internet might go off. Just letting you know. But it's kind of getting bad and I'm kind of lagging. Now I'm ready to move to this really quick. Okay, this is the first photo we're going to look at, dude. As you can see, this is interesting in all kind of ways. And this is when the president, Air Force One lands. The prince actually came out and met the president. And that's breaking protocol. They don't normally do that. Right? They usually have somebody, emissary, meet the guest, then they take them back to the palace. The prince broke protocol and met the president right there. That's the type of relationship they have. And you can tell, dude, just watch the videos. And it's not just the smiling, it's the constant conversations that they're having, dude. It's the body language, it's all of that. But as you can see, dude, the thing that impressed me is you see that there's this ladder here. Right, this is what they have for the plane. This thing is long, dude. It's wide, right? It's plush, right? They wrote out the lavender carpet. Now, according to what I've heard or read about this carpet and the color and why it is, it's a lavender color because that's their flower, and that it represents. I forgot what it represents, but it has a good meaning, and that's the reason they did that from. And the president, of course, knowing that they were going to do that, he actually wore kind of a lavender tie, as you can see that. The other thing that I thought was cool, that when the president was coming in, Saudi Arabia sent a bunch of F-15s, yes, and that's our planes that we sold to them, right, that they're using, that they sent an escort for the president when he was coming in, of F-15s. Now, the cool thing about this is that they had about 5 of them, I believe. They sent up 5 F-15s to meet the president, okay? There's another shot of that right there. See this one? Can we see this one? That's just not. Okay, this is some more pictures. So there's a little more, right? As you can see, like I was saying, they definitely have a good relationship. President was happy to be there. Again, they have the escorts, and I'll say why that's important as well. I was trying to find other pictures about this, guys, and again, should have done a better job bookmarking it when I did see that initially. Because I was following this all week. One of the cool things that they did is they basically work on them like royalty, right? And you can tell that he appreciated it. I mean, look, the president is a very polarizing figure, even in this country, and you can tell that he got way more respect in the Middle East than he does even in the United States of America. which I find funny, right? But basically, he got in his beast. He drove to the palace, right? He was going to meet the prince there, and they had like an escort of stallions, of these riders on stallions. That was really cool. Um, he rides in, goes to the palace. They have like this sword dance prepared for him. He goes, sits down. Royal family's there. He's there. But part of his cabinet's there. They're sitting on like these gold seats, right? Just the opulence of it all was absolutely like through the roof. I'm not gonna lie. Hold on, let me drop this down, guys. Right. And this is the one that blew me away, guys. I'll be honest with you. And yes, here. Okay, let me hold on. So this is they had this made specially for the president because they know that he likes McDonald's. See, and that's what I'm talking about. That's why you know they have a good relationship, right? When you spare no expense for stuff like this, right? And this is not like this is something that they just know about him. It's a part of his personality. He actually gets hate for this sometimes because people think McDonald's is unhealthy. But they basically custom made this for him in case he wanted to get McDonald's. They had it ready to go for him, right? You know, like when the national championship teams go to the White House and they had like McDonald's prepared for them. You know, when they showed up, that's what they ate. Because he loves McDonald's. So I thought this was really cool that they did that. And again, this is just one of the many things that they did for him, right? The level of respect that they showed him. And look, that's I hear people that are saying, ah, they're just doing it because of deals and they want to be use their influence on and stuff like that. Look, that's par for the course. If you guys didn't know that, if they're not doing it, everybody else is doing it. Even China, with whom right now we're not getting along with, as far as economics is concerned. But they did bend the knee, so that's a good thing. Um, but that's just the way it is, guys. That's just the way people are, and of course, rightfully so, because wait, hold on a second. I got like all this stuff going on. But that's how it is, dude. That's just politics at the end of the day. The difference with this is they have a lot of respect for him, right? Because what Saudi Arabia wants to do is they want to be a player on the world stage now, and they know that having an ally like the U.S., having somebody like President Trump as a person that they can communicate with, certain person that they can share ideas with, share partnerships with, right? Again, this was an economic forum that had a lot of the most wealthy and powerful people in the tech industry, in business, in the business world in general, that were here. Right? There's a lot of money, a lot of deals going to be made. We got deals out of this. If you guys heard a lot of the, he got like 600 billion initially. That was what they talked about with the prince, and then Trump being who he is, knowing people the way he does, some of the other stuff that he was able to do. Um, you know, within the when Trump gave his speech at the economic forum. Like 4 hours later, the prince came back on a podium and he pledged to get to $1 trillion because that's what Trump wanted. Right? In fact, President Trump said that like, hey, we have a $600 billion deal, but we wanted to get to a trillion. When he landed and then they signed the first deal with 600 billion, look, Trump has a lot of haters, and these haters are stupid, right? They don't learn. They never bet against this dude, and so 4 hours, 5 hours later from that deal, because everybody was giving him crap, right? Because he said a trillion and you only got 600 billion, only 600 billion. And so what ended up happening 4 hours later, the prince goes, "Yeah, we're gonna make it into a trillion. We're gonna hit that $1 trillion goal." And what ended up happening, right? When the President Trump, like, he gave probably one of the best speeches, and I'll just do a video on that separately, right? Because there's a lot of stuff to uncover there, but that dives more into the political aspect of everything that's going on. But that discussion needs to be had. But so what ended up happening? He probably gave one of the best speeches he's ever given, as far as content, as far as stuff that's going to change the course of balance of power within the world, or possibly could, right? And one of the big things that he talked about was Syria, taking sanctions off, and that's something that definitely, he actually got a standing ovation for that, because that's something that Saudi Arabia, and especially the Prince, and other of the Arab nations in the Middle East was something that they wanted, and the president did that. And after that, I mean, that just took it to a whole nother level. And then, like I said, 4 or 5 hours later, the crown prince was like, okay, we'll get to that $1 trillion mark, right? That's how you do it, right? If there's one thing, like, look, dude, is the president the best orator? No, there's definitely people that are better. Is he the most? I mean, he just speaks what's on his mind, right? He's very honest, dude. I mean, he just is who he is, and that rubs people the wrong way sometimes. Well, rubs people the wrong way a lot of times. Right? His personality. But at the end of the day, dude, this is his wheelhouse. This is what he does, and this is why he's able to do these deals. And the most interesting thing about this, right? After that was said and done, um, and then they had all this celebration, dude. They had a dinner. They went through all of that, dude. I mean, he was treated like royalty, and he was beaming. It showed, dude. His, we all know that the president has this massive ego. It probably grew by 100 times more. That's just the reality of it, right? So then he's enjoying all that, but that was just the first stop. Then he has to go to Qatar, and that's where he went next. And then he was going to end it with United Arab Emirates (UAB). Right? So he stopped in Dubai. He stopped in Abu Dhabi. He's gone through all these places. Again, if you guys haven't watched this, please do so. I'm not going to share all of the content out there. I should have done a better job with this because it was amazing to watch. But the funny thing that stood out to me is like he would go to all these places, right? And it's like each country tried to one up the other country, right? So you got $1 trillion commitment from the crown prince in Saudi Arabia, the pomp and the circumstance. You got the lavender carpet royal. Then he goes to Qatar, right? And so when he flies in there, he gets an escort as well. But instead of 5 F-15s, they have like 7, right? Instead of getting a $1 trillion, he got 1.2 trillion, right? When he lands, dude, they walk this red carpet. They walk down this whole hallway, stuff like that. They had the dancers, dude. They had like these girls who were like flipping their hair. They had all this kind of stuff. Or maybe that was UAB. There's just so much stuff going on. But everywhere that he went, I found it interesting because they just raised the bar just a little bit more, right? And more importantly, they did it with the money. Again, 1 trillion commitment from the Crown Prince in Saudi Arabia, 1.2 from Qatar, and then 1.4 from UAB, right? And the biggest deals they announced, right, that they were signing, right, a lot of them had to do with the military, right? Military hardware. One of them was for Boeing, getting Boeing planes. So look, I mean, we have things that the rest of the world wants. The president knows that, and he made it a point to push that to the forefront, and this is why he got the money that he did, right? And the funny thing about it, look, dude, this was, I don't care which way you cut it, how you like him, you don't like it. Dude, this is probably one of the most successful presidential presidential outings I've ever seen in my lifetime, ever. And I even count that against any other president. And I think that includes Reagan, who's my favorite president. Right? I just never seen him like this is probably him at peak form, doing what he's doing at the age that he is. Man, this thing was nonstop. It was like he did not sleep. Like he just rolled into one event after another, met everybody, shook everybody's hand. Dude, you can look at the excitement by the crowd. You know what I'm saying? They really value the friendship of the United States, right? And there's reasons for that, guys. Their security is at stake. They want to be prosperous, right? A lot of the other countries that deal with us, they want to be prosperous as well. And they know that America, as a country, as a superpower, can offer them things that no other country can, right? And it's not just products, dude. It's military. Um, it's the backing. It's the friendship. It's all of that, right? And it was good to see, right? Especially since you see him. Let's be honest, dude, the way that he's treated in his own country, right? How everybody's trying to, you have a rogue, rogue federal judicial system that's trying to shut him down. You got an opposition party that's just an opposition party, right? They just go against him just because, right? Look, he's going to cut the price of prescription medication, right? And people still hating on him. He's trying to get all the fraud, waste, and abuse out of Medicare. They're hating on him for that, right? Saying some crap like he's just trying to steal money. No, he's trying to get all the people that is cheating the system, dude, so they can get the money to the people that need it. Right? Look, dude, we're all going to be on Medicare someday. These people my age, dude, I don't know if they're going to change that. They probably should. But at the end of the day, dude, he does all these things, right? So it was good. I love seeing him there. I love seeing him get appreciated for a change, right? And I'm not saying that people here don't appreciate him. He does definitely has his following here. But I'm just saying, dude, that was probably something that he needed, something that that was refreshing. And then on top of that, he took the time to go visit the troops, which was pretty cool, and also dropped the bomb on them, saying that they're going to get pay raises, right? Because that area that they're in is like the biggest military base in the area, dude. A lot of people are stationed there, right? The services we provide in there, definitely have some hazardous duty pay, right? President is going to start taking care of our military members, going to start taking care of our veterans, going to start doing all of that kind of stuff. And it also helps that he's able to go to these countries and give us $6-7 trillion at start. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised after all of this and everything starts going and everything starts turning and as the deals start coming through, we're gonna get even more money off of that, which was the goal. Right. And so, dude, again, if you haven't got the time to if you didn't check this out, I highly suggest you do. This was well worth the price of it. This was well worth the price of admission. Again, I am sorry that I don't have all the clips I needed to. I mean, it's hard enough for me to do these videos as with the time that I have as it is right now. But it was a sight. It was a sight to behold, and it was wonderful. 100% enjoyed every minute of it. Um, Again, I always say this: there's very few things that can take me off of. Let me drop this down. Guys. That can take me away from my gaming or my Korean dramas or my anime or reading manga, right? But this was definitely one of them. And again, if you check your politics at the door and just enjoy this for what it is, I think you will enjoy it immensely. Dude, you know what I had? At one point in time, I this. There's another thing that I wanted to go see, especially since this is a pop culture um, thing that we're talking about. But you know what? I think I might have lost it. It has to do with Disney. I wanted to kind of circle back to Disney. Oh, here, let me share this with you guys real fast. 'Cause I thought this was pretty cool. Let me start from the beginning. This is awesome. So this is when he was in UAB, I believe, United Arab Emirates. And so this girl went to greet him with flowers. And but I love this. I love this. She's sitting there waiting for the representative with flowers. Look at this. Look at this girl just standing there. And you see the people coming, right? And these guys that are filming, right? They're not paying attention to what's behind them. And nobody stopped them either. Watch this little girl. Look at her. She stood there, man. She stood in the pocket, took the hit to present the flowers to the president. He acknowledges her. See now this guy coming. You see this guy coming now, right? Letting them know because I believe this girl, dad is the prince. You see the guy right there? I think that's his daughter because there's a picture that's shown later of the dad kind of beaming, right? Kind of very proud of her. But after that happened, dude, that other dude shows up and he's like, hey, watch yourself. And again, it's like moments like that, dude. I'll be honest with you guys that I enjoyed the most. And there's a lot of stuff that like that was going on. Everywhere the president went, dude, they shut down a lot of the things so that he could get a full look at everything that's going on. One of the most interesting things I see is because the president's background he is a builder, right, and a real estate agent, so he understands buildings, construction, all of that stuff, right. That's kind of his bread and butter. That's his background. And he was talking about in the speech where he saw Saudi Arabia then was showing some of the projects that they had, and he's kind of blown away by it, right? Like not even thinking it's possible. He also commented on how their industry is advancing, and then he made another comment. I won't touch on it here because I want to do it on a separate video because it's going to encompass everything that's going on with Saudi Arabia. But if you guys want to, man, go look at what's going on in Dubai and the stuff that if you haven't, that's the main one right there. But Abu Dhabi, man, I talk about this too. Abu Dhabi, they built an indoor SeaWorld, right? And I'm looking for the clip now. I had it where they're actually. Shoot. Let me try and find it, guys. Bear with me. But they're gonna have a new Disney World as well. Hold on, let me see. And then we'll watch it. I'm trying to find it. I thought I saved it, and I did not. Yeah, I think this is the one. I don't know if this is the one. Hold on. I think this is the one. Crap, I should have bookmarked that, man. You know your boy, man. It's just, I'm not the most. Hold on. Let's go full screen, then we'll full screen this.
Really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward,
with the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
In Disney's 102-year history, there have been many defining moments and countless achievements. Today, we celebrate another thrilling moment, the creation of a spectacular new Disney theme park resort coming to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi is a place where heritage meets innovation, a place where we preserve our past while designing the future.
Bringing a Disney theme park resort to Yas Island, Abu Dhabi, marks a historic milestone in our journey as a global family destination.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination represents a new frontier in theme park ambitions. Our resort in Abu Dhabi will be the most advanced and interactive destination in our entire portfolio. The location of our park is incredibly unique. It's anchored by a beautiful waterfront, which will allow us to tell our stories in completely new ways. Ultimately, this project will be a celebration of what's possible when creativity and progress come together.
What we are creating with Disney in Abu Dhabi is a whole new world of imagination and experience that will inspire generations across the region and the world.
This collaboration represents a powerful fusion of Disney's unmatched legacy in storytelling and Mira's commitment to bringing world-class entertainment to our guests.
Abu Dhabi's vision for the future is to create a legacy for generations to come.
Disneyland Abu Dhabi will be authentically Disney and distinctly Emirati. An oasis of extraordinary Disney entertainment at this crossroads of the world. It will bring to life our timeless characters and stories in many new ways, becoming a source of joy and inspiration for the people of this vast region to enjoy for generations to come.
Yeah, so dude, that's going to be huge. And one of the great things about that is that Disney's affiliated with them, but the people in Abu Dhabi are going to be running it, right? And so, like I said, that's the same thing with SeaWorld, right? And so they're going to make it the best that it possibly can be. Look, I love Disney. I'm a huge Disney fan. They need to get their heads out of their asses. I don't know why it's taking them so long to course correct with some of the stuff that they're doing, the decisions they're making. All of this woke stuff that they were buying into, it's dead. They're suffering. Their corporate bottom line is suffering. They need to course correct. But if they're not going to do it, give it to people that are going to do it. And I'm telling you, man, just spend some time on YouTube. Right, go out there, look at what's going on with what Saudi Arabia is doing, Abu Dhabi them are doing. Right, they're really pushing for the next level, especially when it comes to entertainment. Okay. And I think that bodes well for Disney. I'm being 100% honest. In fact, I'm trying to find something on. Actually, it was another video that I saw that I wanted to show you guys, but I lost it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share this one. Hopefully it's not, because these other ones are super, super long. Hold on one second, guys. Stop sharing that. Close this one. We'll go to the other one. Let's go. This one's short.
SeaWorld Abu Dhabi.
guys. I'm at SeaWorld Abu Dhabi. This has recently opened. It's home to more than 68,000 marine animals. There are 8 sections here. We're starting with Abu Dhabi Ocean first, and we'll also see the world's largest aquarium that houses more than 68,000 marine animals. There are more than 150 species of animals here, marine life animals, all the different kinds of seas, fishes, and everything that we'll see here. So let's go check it out. Okay, so this is Abu Dhabi Ocean. This is the first section, also known as Realm. So this restaurant is called Matbakh Ummi, means Mother's Kitchen. You'll find it here at Abu Dhabi Ocean section. So in this section, find the ecosystem of Arabian Gulf, the marine ecosystem, and you'll find different kinds of fishes. You'll also see a wooden camel roaming around here at Abu Dhabi Ocean Realm. There's also lockers rental, so in case you want to leave all your stuff and enjoy and roam around freely, then you can do that. Now we're about to enter one ocean. Check this out. Love the design. Wow. Check this out. This is the second section. And they also have an animal care center. This reminds me of Happy Feet. I don't know why. These are Atlantic dolphins. This is where you see walruses. So there is sea otter here. Check this out. Do you hear them? Now I'm going to tropical ocean. Let's check it out. Wow.
So just to let you guys know, the reason why this is so impressive, everything you're looking at, this is all indoors, right? Because they're in the desert, so they can't do this without doing it indoors. If most of these animals wouldn't make it, they would die. So this is all enclosed.
So this is tropical ocean section, in where you'll find flamingos, dolphin show. You have places to eat. You can feed the fishes. The lot more here. To the other side because I did not go there. So this has more of the Amazon rainforest feeling. All right. So this is the viewing area, and this is where you'll see dolphins. They're being trained right now. They're preparing for the show. Nice. So these are the dolphins. Wait for it. There you go. I'm going to try out Manta. This is an indoor to outdoor roller coaster. Let's go check it out. Nice! I feel dizzy right now. Forget any type of ride you have tried in the UAE. Woo! This was amazing. It's a must try ride. Manta at SeaWorld Abu Dhabi Yas Island. This is it. That's what's up. Alright, so this is where you have all the souvenirs.
So they're supposed to be building more rides since that one's such a big hit.
I cannot walk straight. I just had fun. There's nothing else that I can say. It was amazing. Okay, so now I'm heading towards Endless Ocean. Wow. As I mentioned earlier, there are like 68,000 marine animals in the Endless Ocean. It's the largest aquarium in the world. So these are the types of fishes that you can find inside. 68,000, can you believe it? Wow. What kind of fish is this? This is the first time I'm seeing this type of species. Can you
That's
believe
great.
this? Wow. This is massive. Check this out. It's nice. Wow. So this is what's inside the world's largest aquarium. Looks like a scene from Star Wars. So they also have this experience coming soon.
Yeah, you're gonna be able to dive with it.
So there's also a cafe here. You can just have something and enjoy the view. So first we went to the Abu Dhabi Ocean. That was the starting point. Then we checked out Polar Ocean. Then we went to Rocky Point, Tropical Ocean. By the way, in Tropical Ocean section, we also have a dolphin show at 4 p.m. So we'll check that out as well. We saw the world's largest aquarium at Endless Ocean. Now next is Micro Ocean. Let's go. So there are different rides
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool. You can tell this is for the kids.
here. There's Octo Zoom, Jelly Plunge, Turtle Twist, lots of other rides for the kids and also for adults. Get something to eat here and enjoy the vibe. Let's go out and check out the Tropical Ocean again. I want to check out the dolphin show. So now I'm going to the amphitheater to see the dolphin show. So it's about to start in a minute. Still waiting for the show. Okay, so this is a live performance. So this is it. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.
Oh, that was pretty cool. That was good. I like that one. Hold on, I think I found the other one. We're gonna run this one. Then we'll call it a day, guys. I don't wanna. There we go. But man, so there's another guy that did a video, but that thing's like an hour long, and I'm not gonna show that one. But the kind of cool thing about his is he breaks it down even more. That guy's video is pretty cool for what I wanted to show you guys. But again, man, the most amazing thing about that is those areas are massive, and it's all indoors. Except when you saw the ride go outside, that's the only one that goes out, right? Because of the heat, right, in the desert. And in fact, I think right next to that is like this Ferrari World thing, because Ferraris are pretty big in the Middle East. But they're supposed to be, as far as Disney World or SeaWorld, they're supposed to be putting out some more rides. They're planning to expand, I believe. One of the things I always notice about the videos is that it seems to kind of be empty when you look at it. But what one of the guys was talking about on his videos, that there's people there, but it's so big that you have so much space. And that's the interesting thing, right? Because when you see a lot of the videos now on YouTube, when people go to wait, hold on. Hey, wait, is this thing turned off? Oh yeah, I turned it off. Hold on. That when you see people at these parks and stuff, it always looks crowded, which it is. And so the guy was saying that there's just so much space in these things that they built. They've taken everything into consideration. And again, that's the level of which Saudi Arabia and the Middle East is operating right now. They're not the only ones doing this. All the other Arab states are transitioning away from oil, which I think is smart. Look, they have oil. They have, I mean, it's estimated that they have over 600 to 1,000 years of oil on stock at the current supply. If everybody's buying oil the way it is, and of course with other technology coming along, that won't be the case. But they understand whether if they run out of oil, or if oil doesn't become the predominant energy source, that they have to have something else to rely on. Right? And I think it's smart, man. And just one of the reasons why when the president went there, he was kind of blown away with it, because they're very forward thinking there. Right? And that's why when he made certain comments about Saudi Arabia, why he likes it, why he likes the people there, it's because there's a perception of the Middle East. And again, I won't do the deep dive. We'll talk about that because that's more on the geopolitical front. But obviously, you know, they're thinking ahead, and there's a lot of things that they're looking at, and they want to diversify their portfolio, kind of like what Xbox does, right? You just don't have the just the live service games or the AAA bangers or the 2A or the indie games. You have everything, and that's what the Middle East is trying to do, to present themselves in that way. And here, let me play this in fact, because this guy makes a good point as well. Hold on.
20 years ago this year, Walt Disney opened the first Disneyland in California.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
Now, for the first time in 15 years, a brand new Disneyland has been announced, and it's coming to Abu Dhabi. The UAE capital will soon be home to the 7th Disney destination. One of the key drivers of the deal is Mohammed Al Mubarak, the force behind bringing F1 and the NBA to Abu Dhabi, building the iconic Saadiyat Cultural District. But even for him, this one feels different. I asked him why.
The Disney magic. Very difficult to replicate the Disney magic. I think we all know the IPs that Disney have. But more importantly than that is how they continuously create everlasting memories, whether when you visit their parks, watch their shows, watch their movies, anything that's a touch point by Disney creates that. I felt that. The earliest memories I have, happy memories, was visiting Disney World with my mother and my siblings for the first time. That memory lives with me. That memory created not just a fan, but created an emotional connection with this brand.
The 7th Disney theme park resort destination.
The arrival of Disney is more than just a headline. It is the latest step in Abu Dhabi's sweeping vision to become a global capital of culture and tourism. It's a transformation I've seen unfold firsthand over the past decade.
The plan to develop Yas Island, I believe, was initiated back in 2006. Take me back.
This chopper ride really gives me goosebumps. His Highness, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, flew over this island. He wanted to create a destination for all.
So I've watched the
That's the Ferrari ride I was talking about.
evolution of this place. Is Disney the crown jewel?
Yes, when it comes to sort of what we're trying to create here at Yas Island.
I love how he says that. It's important, but it's not the main thing.
But we continuously innovate. We continuously
This is what a visionary says.
find ways to enhance this quality of life that is so dear to us. So, are we going to be done after Disney? No. We're always going to find ways to bring in more people to experience our collective. We are in a very distinct geographical location. We are 4 hours away from a third of the world's population. Asia, Southeast Asia, Eastern Europe, North Africa, Central Africa, the Arabian Peninsula. We're going to be creating something there that actually touches every single geographical location within that.
Josh Damaro has driven Disney's most ambitious projects, transforming parks into a cash powerhouse. He insists today's announcement is only the first step in Disney's grand Abu Dhabi vision.
We're in the very early days of what Abu Dhabi will mean to this part of the world. It's pretty impressive, the population that surrounds this area, and it's pretty impressive what's already happening here right now. When you bring Disney into the mix of a tourism destination and you build with the ambition that we plan to build with here, undoubtedly what will happen is that will attract even more tourists. It's kind of a crossroads of the world in a way. It's a young nation, but it's a very proud nation, a nation that celebrates legacy and history, but also has this very aggressive lean forward in terms of what the future can look like. And in many ways, it's very similar to Disney. Everything that we do, particularly as we build new, we're pushing the envelope on creativity. Our research and development labs back at home in California are working on some of the most cutting edge technologies to immerse people in these stories. What we recognized very early on in our discussions with Maral and the people of Abu Dhabi was this lean towards technology, this futuristic look at what society could look like.
And that focus on the future and cutting edge technology is fully aligned with the Abu Dhabi strategy.
We're going to be utilizing the investments that are happening in the UAE and around the world in regards of tech, in quantum, in AI on how we can bring this all together. So right now, what's amazing is that we know we have a lot of pieces of the puzzle. The next couple of years is putting this puzzle together.
Another new feature is gamification, designed to engage a digital-first generation in the Disney multiverse.
So gamification is huge. How we gamify everything. And you're seeing it in our daily lives. It's making every difference. How are we going to gamify the experience of our visitors from their hotel rooms, maybe from the booking stage, where they feel that they are part of this world and they are either gaining points or they are gaining a prize throughout the overall experience? That's something that definitely we would look into.
We made an investment in Epic Games about a year ago or so now, $1.5 billion. And what we're seeing is Gen Alpha particularly is gathering in these spaces to play games, to socialize, to watch. So these communities are forming. And we wanted to be part of that. Think about a Disneyland theme park inside of a virtual environment. And by the way, back and forth, something that you experience in Fortnite, for example, which is part of Epic Games, that experience you have there, you might be able to carry back to a theme park. So we're really pushing hard into the space. And with the new park that we're building here in Abu Dhabi, we've got an opportunity from ground up to think about how games and interactivity cannot be just something you do at home or on your phone, but how it interplays with the actual park.
Bringing imagination to life with cutting-edge technology in a city that blends tradition and modernity as it races towards a bold new future.
The next.
All right, man, that's pretty cool. Again, you guys know I'm a big Disney fan. I talk about it all the time. But that brings back, look, I'll be honest with you guys. That's the Disney that I know. And it's unfortunate because the Disney leadership, as it currently stands, dude, they're a far cry from what Walt Disney's his vision and what he stood for, and what Disney World is supposed to, or Disney company proper is supposed to be. So look, dude, if it takes them going to Abu Dhabi and having somebody else do it and bring them back together, I'm all for it, dude. I wouldn't mind going there at all. There's a lot of stuff to see there. Do I have the money to do it? That's another problem. But again, man, as you can tell, man, by this dude that he was talking to, when people talk like that, that's a visionary. They have very, it's one thing to have big dreams and big goals, man, but they're putting it into use. They're actually making it reality. And I don't want to say that this is the guy, but we talked about this before on the channel with Embracer. Embracer was going to get some backing from somebody from Saudi. Or from the Middle East, I should say. And that deal fell through. And that's where Embracer found themselves in financial straits because they didn't have that backing anymore. And I want to say it's this guy. I've been trying to find it. Any connection whatsoever, still dating on it. So take it with a grain of salt. But you understand like what this guy's talking about when it comes to what they want to present, the way he looks at things, right? His thought process. This is the younger generation of these Arab princes that are coming and taking over, moving their society forward from what their dads did and their dad's dads. Right? Very progressive thinking as far as business and tech. They definitely want to put their place on the world map, and they definitely, they're looking at becoming, entertainment giant. And if they can pull it off, I think that's great, especially if it has to do with Disney World. I'm looking forward to see the development, man. This is definitely something I'll keep tracking on the channel. But for right now, guys, I'm going to call it a stream. It's been about an hour, so definitely I don't want to go too long. But let me know what you guys think, dude. I mean, I think the sky's the limit to all the stuff that's going on in the Middle East. And shout out to the president for going over there and being ahead of the ball game. This is going to be the next area. This is a lot of the stuff that you're seeing with the Middle East right now, and especially Saudi Arabia and UAE and Qatar. That's what a lot of people was looking to China in the 90s, right? And, Chinese are communists. So we have a better relationship with these countries in the Middle East. Yeah, we have some differences. There's definitely some political stuff that we need to work out, some cultural differences, dude, that we need to work out, all of that. But hopefully this looks like to be the next big thing, and we're going to be discussing this on the channel as we move forward. All right, guys, Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. Danny, thanks for dropping in. Anybody who comes across this video and watches it, let me know in the comments what you guys think. But Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever, we out.